Good morning. People in the south, good morning. People in the east, good day. People in the west, good afternoon. And the rest in the northern side, good evening. I'm back again with another one. Um, I'm going to continue the discussion and the information sharing as normal, as usual. And thank you very much for being part of this journey. Thank you very much for trusting us with the information that you're sharing. I see there's a lot of people that are benefiting from the information that we're sharing, and hopefully this information will stay and last for decades on the system, on the YouTube system, and even the next generation will be able to access such information and use it if it will still be relevant to their lives at the time. And obviously, you can't go back and edit information that you uploaded 15, 20 years ago, but they will understand that that's how we used to do things 30 years ago. So, as our the name of our channel dictates, know something. That's the name of our channel. Know something. So we looking into people to know something about something. Know something about um, your business specifically, know something about the ideas that you are working on, know something at least about the disruptive innovations that you want to embark on, and it's not a child's play. It's a serious journey that one needs to properly plan the actual pathway on how are they going to walk it through. Hence, I started trying to shape it in a way that you will be able to walk the journey such that you have a reference point where you can go and say, he shared information about this. He shared information about this step of the way, this step of the process, and then it will assist you more to walk the journey that you'll be embarking on in terms of building your disruptive innovation. So it's very important for us as entrepreneurs and innovators to know or to have a specific knowledge about what we are working on or what we're doing. This means that without knowledge, you might be in possession of a very highly potential disruptive innovation that could change the world. But because you don't know how to deploy it, you don't know how to unleash it into the market, and then you end up dying out with such an idea. So you need to know something such that you are able to bring that idea into life. And knowing something will eventually add value to your disruptive innovations. It will add value to your business as well, because eventually your disruptive innovation is going to become a business, a fully fledged business. So I want to share a couple of aspects. These are aspects on your innovations, whereby you will be able to understand that for my innovations to see light of day, these are the things that needs to be in place. Says that number one, I'm just going to list them from top of my head with no alphabetical order or any type of order that is, but I'll just list them as they come through. So firstly, I want to bring an aspect of a team, how important it is to have a team in your business or in your innovation or innovative idea. So, as and when you work on your ideas, there will be a point where you need to put together a team. Remember, in one of the last episodes, actually, one of the previous episodes, rather, I spoke about RD&T. These are processes that need specific or skilled people to run these particular processes. So these specific or skilled people form a group of skilled or specialized individuals in your innovation or in your project or your idea. And that group of people is called a team. So it could be people that you know, it could be people that you were referred to, you don't know, or maybe you might have recruited them with some kind of a contract or anything like that. So these are going to be people that works on your innovative idea throughout until it sees light of day. So it's very important to understand what kind of people need to be in your team. So if, for instance, you are putting together a competitive team, because business is competition at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you go out and search for competitive individuals that are going to add value to the idea, individuals that are going to contribute a specific skill and expertise to that particular innovation. So it's very important to understand that. Say, for instance, you are working on building you're working on building, say you are building a car. So if you are building a specific car, what type of team players or people are you going to bring into the team that will form part of that project, or form part of that innovative idea? Number one, you need to have maybe a mechanic. You need to have a mechanical engineer. You need to have a design engineer. You need to have this is the design engineer who's going to help you design that particular car, because you cannot just draw up a sketch and say this is the car. There's a lot of things that goes into designing a car. Things like aerodynamics designs, things like how is the engine going to be specifically located in the compartment, what is the weight in relation to the weight of the engine in relation to the entire weight of the vehicle, or the body weight and stuff like that. So you need a design engineer to be part of that team. Perfect example. So you need people like that with specific expertise to be able to take on that disruptive innovation. And number two, it's you need to understand how intellectual property works. Intellectual property, some might call it IPs. It's just an acronym for intellectual property. So you need to understand how they work. Intellectual property is a collective of different aspects in itself. So in intellectual property, you get things like copyrights, depending on what idea or what disruptive innovative idea you're working on. You get trademarks, you get patents, and others that maybe I might not be familiar with. But these are the most common ones that you get: copyrights, patents, and trademarks. You need to understand how these three works, how do they differ, and which one suits your particular innovative idea. If your innovative idea is to design, say, a dress or a new way of how people dress themselves, you are probably not going to be fit to apply for patents per se, but you might be liable to apply for trademarks and copyrights. If your disruptive idea is to build a car, you are most probably going to apply for patents more than you would need to apply for trademarks and copyrights. You understand? So if your disruptive innovative idea involves design, sketches, and stuff like that, you are most probably going to be eligible to apply for patents. And if your idea is mostly around maybe mobile applications, written material and stuff like that, you are most probably going to be fit to apply for trademarks and copyrights. So you need to understand how these things work. The information is out there on the internet. You can go and search for it and understand how they differ. So the next one would be markets. You need to understand your markets, how the market works, how the markets are currently positioned. How can you position your business and disruptive, innovative idea for it to suit the markets? How do you do that? You need to, during the process of building your innovative idea, you need to have some kind of an understanding of things like beachhead markets, things like serviceable, obtainable market, things like serviceable, attainable market. Serviceable, obtainable, it's in short, it's called SOM. Serviceable, attainable, in short, it's called SAM. SAM. SOM, SAM. And then you also need to understand things like total addressable market. Total addressable market is the entire market that you're targeting. So you need to understand which markets are you targeting, and then that would be your beachhead. Beachhead is the market that you're specifically targeting to offer your services to, or the users that are going to use your disruptive innovation or your idea when you commercialize it. So you need to understand those dynamics. Once you understand those dynamics, then the next aspect will be customer validation. You need to understand what customer validation is. Some people might call it customer interviews, whereby you are required to go out, get out of the room, feel yourself in and around the streets of the places where you think your product might have an interest in terms of the markets. Go all out, meet people and interview them about the service that you're about to bring into the market. Ask them questions about their needs. Ask them questions about their pains. Remember, before you started working on this idea, you first were able to identify a problem. The problem that you've identified, it was due to the fact that there is a specific pain that you're trying to solve, or a specific problem that you're trying to solve. So once you get your idea validated and you start working on these aspects of the innovation, then you go out and start interviewing these customers. What do you think of a new car that we're working on? Something like that. You'll draft a list of questions suitable for the potential market that you want to address. And the questions might as well be able to talk to the pain that these people are going through, such that they're able to relate to your questions, such that they give you enough and relevant feedback and information. So you go out and you discover those customers. That's why they call it customer discovery or customer interview. So as and when you interview them, you are discovering what they need. You are validating the pain that they are going through, the problem that you have identified when you started, that this is real. This is a real problem and people are going through it. And as you as you validate that problem, you are going to use that data from those customers to identify your beachhead market. So if the car that you're building, if the robot that you are designing and building, it's for households, it's for households, and the mummies and the people working in the household are going to work with this robot as their assistants to do their laundry, to do whatever that they'll be doing, to do their dishes and stuff like that. You need to use your customer discovery to identify that beachhead market. So your customer discovery exercise is going to help you discover those customers. When you come back to your office, when you come back to the table, you know which group of customers are interested in this, and this is the pain that this robot is going to solve or assist in easing this pain. So Those are the aspects that you need to look into when you build your innovative idea. So it's very important to understand how they work. It's very important to understand the value that they're adding into your innovation, the value that they're adding into your idea that you're working on. And it's very important for you to understand that if you skip any of these, if you skip any of these aspects, you might end up not having enough or not having sufficient traction for your business. Meaning, if anyone comes and say, what traction have you got for your disruptive innovation, you need to be able to display or show the traction that you've got, or the traction that you have. Traction, it's the things that you've already done so far in your disruptive idea. So what traction have you got so far? Then you need to be able to list those things. You need to be able to present those things. That I've done customer discovery. I was able to interview 180 customers. This is the feedback. These are the questions that I was asking them. And I've identified my beachhead market. This is what they need. And it goes hand in glove with what we're working on. So the solution that we're building is actually going to work, or it's actually going to solve this particular problem 100% for sure, because I've done the discoveries and this is exactly the pain that these people are going through. And then the team that you also put together is the team that is going to assist you to get there, So this traction is going to actually assist you to remember when I said you gotta use some of the support programs that are available across the globe, from different governments, from different investors, from different support agencies, from different companies, from companies that are built to support startup businesses, from so many role players that you might apply for these support programs. I've already shared some of them. So you are going to use that traction to show to the support programs that you'll be applying to. It's very, very important. You need to understand that. So based on everything that I've explained from the start, from the first episode till today, you'll be able to now know that I've got some kind of traction that I built, and here is what I have done so far. That is called your traction. One of the things that you need to have on a traction is to record yourself or record a 1 minute. Normally they'll request a 1 minute video. 1 minute video, it's an introduction of yourself, your business, your disruptive innovation. When you introduce yourself, obviously you introduce you tell them what your name is, where you're from, in which part of the world are you based, what your business name is, what idea you're working on, what problem are you going to solve. So, or what problem is this idea or this service solving. So you make sure that this is within 1 minute, because anything more than 1 minute, some support programs don't accept anything more than 1 minute. So you can't be there and giving them all this sort of unnecessary information that they don't need to hear. So you give them 1 minute information, then they know who you are, which company you're coming from, which part of the world are you, and what idea are you working on which solves what particular problem. That's it. Record such 1 minute intro video, save it on your mobile device or laptop. Every time you apply for a particular support program, should there be a need for you to submit a 1 minute intro video for that particular idea? Because normally you find that innovators are working on multiple ideas. You have an idea for building a vehicle, you have an idea for building an aeroplane, you have an idea for building a ship, you have an idea for building a spacecraft. So you are working on 4 ideas. So have one video that introduces each of these ideas. Obviously introduce yourself 4 times and introduce each idea differently. And then anytime you apply for a support program, then you know which video to attach to that particular program. Then you have traction, you have an intro video that you can submit for whoever that's going to receive this information, and then you get your things done and you get your things in line. So all this information, it's one day going to be required for you to stand in front of investors and pitch all this information. What is pitching? Pitching is when you let me sit in this way so that people get the gist of this. Pitching is when you either stand in front of people or do it online with using online meeting platforms with people attending and listening to you talk. What will you be pitching? You will be talking about your disruptive, innovative idea or disruptive idea that you are working on to introduce into the market. So you pitch the entire thing. You start by introducing yourself. You introduce the name of your business. If it's a registered business, you introduce the idea that you're working on. Then you start introducing your traction. What market have you identified? What problem are you solving? The team that you have, who are people that make up your team? Have you done customer discovery? What was the questions that you were asking them throughout the interviews when you were busy with the customer discovery? What SOM market have you identified? What SAM market have you identified? What is the TEM market? And how is this idea going to work? You need to be able to explain all of that. This is done mostly on a PowerPoint presentation. PowerPoint presentation is a presentation that you need to prepare yourself. Make it as professional as possible that you are able to stand in front of people and be proud of your work, your own work. Don't do cut and paste, temporary mark pass kind of things. My mark pass it's a way, it's an Afrikaans word for something that you did not pay attention to, something that lacks quality, so to speak, something that lacks quality. Do a quality work. Every slide of your presentation must show a bit or show more quality work in it. Make sure that you go all out and present every slide with that passion to show that you know what you're talking about. You're passionate about your innovation. You are working with this from your heart. You're working with this from your passion. This is something that you do when you introduce your team members. Introduce them in a way that you know these people. These are people that you interact with, or you interacted with, or you spend more time with, and they understand what you're building. Don't get there and start biting your own tongue and touch this and that and run away from slides. Those presenters who presents PowerPoint slides without having more insight with what they're presenting. They show the slide and they just read the top head of the slide, and then they move away from the slide because they're avoiding maybe questions around the slide. And that's the slide that they're going to ask you questions. As much as you did not give more information around the slide, they're going to ask you questions around that slide because you ran away from it. Now, when you do your pitch, there's always time limit. So it's either you do a 1 minute pitch, 2-minute pitch. These are normal pitches that I'll explain them one by one. Or you do 5-minute pitch. If you are lucky, your pitch might be 10 minutes, if you are lucky. So 10 minutes pitch, it's Christmas for all the innovators. They know 10 minutes, I'm going to flow. 10 minutes is too much. Mostly we get 5 minutes pitch. 5 minutes pitch, you do everything in 5 minutes. You introduce yourself, you introduce your idea, you introduce the work that you've done, you introduce how your idea works and everything in 5 minutes. Once the clock is on 5 minutes, then they stop the clock. You're done. If you're not finished, you're out. I will tell you a story about my pitch in another episode. Hey, I always do this. I always say something that I'm going to share in another episode. But trust me, I'm going to share everything that I promised to share with you. Because I've got too many stories to share. I've got too many scenarios and experiences to share. So, if 5 minutes goes off, you're done, you stop talking, and then they start asking you questions. There's the biggest challenging slide on your pitch, which is mostly financials. Financials are the most challenging slides for us to explain as innovators, because mostly we are not financial people. We are not accounting. We are not on par in terms of accounting. So you need to understand the figures that you put on your slide. Don't put figures that you don't understand, because they're going to ask you questions around those figures. They're going to ask you, how did you get to this figure? You need to have a clear and thorough understanding of the figures that you put on your financial slide. I'll touch base on that in another episode. I'm going to break down everything. Keep following my channel. Keep following the episodes every week. You're going to learn a lot about these things. And when it happens for you, you will see a walk in a park that you never expected, because you have an insight of what is happening. Now, this is where the name of the channel came from. Know something, you know something, just that you prepare yourself for something that is coming, So that's how pitch works. You're going to pitch your idea in such a way that the investors or your audience might not have enough grilling questions to take you down, because as they grill you with questions, you will end up incriminating yourself with information that you shouldn't be saying, and then you'll be saying things that you were not supposed to say. Whether your pitch was perfect, whether your idea is amazing, out of this world, but the things that you might say when you answer questions through pitching might take you down. On a program that was supposed to support your idea with millions of dollars, or millions of rands, or millions of pullers, or millions of malutis, or millions of whatever currency that you're using. So make sure when you pitch, you understand every slide. Don't pitch something that you did not prepare. Prepare the presentation yourself. Put the figures and the information on the slides on the things that you understand. And I'm going to make an episode around pitching alone. I will share as much as I can, such that you understand the skills and the posture that you display when you pitch, and then you talk to your audience in a specific way. So another thing that will also empower you is over and above the knowledge that you are going to gather from this channel. Another thing that is going to empower you is reading. You need to read, especially young people. Young people don't read. Young people in this country that I live in, they do not read books. You need to read books. If you know you can't read, young people, if you know you can't read, you're bad in reading. You're not good in reading books. Get yourself familiar with YouTube channels. YouTube has changed. YouTube has changed a lot of things, guys. YouTube has changed the entire perspective of life. You no longer need to rely on your brother or uncle or to teach you how to hold a drill, how to put the drill bit on a drill. You can go into YouTube and it will show you that, So young people don't read books, and young people are not interested in reading books, because I assume it comes with the generations. Generations do go in different cycles. There will be a generation of books. There will be a generation that likes reading and stuff. So if you know you are that kind of person who is not familiar with books, go into YouTube and what is this word? Calibrate or optimize your YouTube account for the algorithm to give you content that you need to learn about. Don't just go there and watch everything. If you want to learn about innovation, go in there and calibrate it to show you innovative or innovation channels. Then you learn more about that. So I'm going to recommend some books today. There's a book that I read. It's a very Very good book to read. A very good book for someone who is inquisitive about innovation and wants to innovate and wants to grow into this tech space. The book is called Abundance. I was referred to this book by my mentor. I had a couple of mentors. One of my mentor, a great man from Zimbabwe, but I think it's South African now. I can't say his name because I didn't make any disclaimer to name real people here, so I'm not sure if that is it's gonna sit well with him if he sees this. So one of my mentors referred me to a book called Abundance. The book is about how abundant the innovative ideas are there in the world across the globe. We have so much ideas in abundance to change this world. We have so much opportunities in abundance to change how we live, to change our lives. That book will show you that if you are struggling in your life, there's so much around you that you can do, which you were not aware of. The book is called Abundance. Let me see if I can get this book. There's so much that you can learn from reading. So this is the book that I'm talking about. Abundance. You can see the book, né? Yeah, Abundance. It's written by Peter H. Diamandis. It's written by Stephen Kotler. You can see the cover. It's written Abundance. Let me hold it in such a way that it doesn't reflect light. Abundance. Go and buy this book and read this book. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not kidding you. There's so much that you're going to get from this book. There's so much that you're going to learn from this book. These guys have done a great work in putting together this information for us to learn and grow ourselves. You need to read and you need to get yourself out there in reading and understand the world, understand where the world is, and understand what is happening. Some of us, we could not read, we could not complete our doctorates and PhDs and MBAs. I've got two of my friends who mostly encourage me to go back to school and read, because these guys are academics. They like books. Eh? The first one, his name is Collins. This one I can mention. I know he's gonna see this episode. He's gonna watch this episode. His name is Collins. I think he's working towards studying his PhD now in mechanical engineering. They call it mechange in other countries, but it's in full mechanical engineering. So this guy encourages me a lot in terms of reading. So if I cannot go into a classroom and study for a specific profession, I need to find myself a way to study something and read something. Then I found myself reading books. I've been reading books since I was in high school. Since I was in grade 8, 7, 8, 9, I was reading books. I read so much books. One day I'll make an episode about books that I read. I promise this one as well. I'm going to show you how many books I read and what I learned from those books and what experience have I gotten from reading those books and where did I use that experience. I'm a person that I am today because of some of the information that I learned from the books. Collins is the person that he is today because of some of the information that he learned from the books that he read, from the things that he studied in mechanical engineering, and became the person that he is today. I've got another friend, I know he's going to watch this episode as well. His name is Manocha. It's a French name. He's a very handsome guy. He's from Begersford. His name is Manocha. I'm not saying people's names here. Those who know him will know him. He's studying his MBA. One most intelligent guy I've ever met in my life. I never told him this because I know he would get a lot on his shoulders if I tell him this. But he's one most intelligent guy that I've ever met, brilliant guy that I've ever met, and he's studying his MBA. And I promise one day I'll bring him to our planned podcast, so he will share his knowledge, his insights, his views on life, That guy is something else. Yeah, that guy is out of this world. That guy will take you out of this world and tell you about speed of light. That guy will tell you about how much, um, um, how many minutes it takes the sun rays from wherever the sun is to Earth, which is 8 minutes, of course, and he will explain to you what that means. That's Manocha. So, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, that is what I had for you today, and I would like to recommend the following site. This is the site that I'm going to share with you today for you to be able to get your support programs. This is one of the sites where they are posting a lot of sites which you might not get anywhere. I don't know where these guys who are running this site get this information. You might not get this information anywhere. The site is called Social Enterprise Connection. Social Enterprise Connect. Social Enterprise Connect.co.za. Social Enterprise Connect.co.za. Once you get into that site, click on opportunities and funding. No, funding and opportunities. Funding and opportunities. Funding and opportunities. Then you'll get a list of opportunities. Most of the opportunities that they put on that site, they don't have a specific deadline. They are ongoing. So it's those support programs that are rolling are just rolling over from one year to another. They don't stop. So whenever you apply, they'll be able to assist you with funding, with support that you need for your disruptive innovation. So that is that for today. And go to that site, socialenterpriseconnect.co.za, and get opportunities there. There's plenty of opportunities. There's one that I saw from that very site. It's from Iwisa Maize Meal. Iwisa Maize Meal, they are offering up to, I think it's up to 800,000 in prizes, in cash prizes for the best enterprise, for the best innovative ideas that you might submit. So I tried to apply and I realized I don't qualify because they're looking for people that reside in South Africa, and they reside in Gauteng, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Western Cape, Northwest, Mpumalanga, no Limpopo, and I'm in Limpopo, so I couldn't apply. Go and see what I'm talking about. Iwisa something. It's under Social Enterprise Connect.co.za. That is that for today, and in the next 7 days or so, there's going to be a pop-up here for those that haven't subscribed to subscribe. Either it's going to be here or here somewhere. So you'll click on that pop-up. It's going to be the face of the channel, my face for this channel. You click on that pop-up and then you subscribe. So it's gonna either pop here or pop somewhere here, and then click on that pop-up face. It's a bit of an ugly face. It looks like me, and then you click on that ugly face and then you subscribe to this channel. I guarantee you, you're gonna come out clean for being part of this channel. And then there's gonna be another pop-up here, or maybe here, somewhere here. Yeah, so either here or here. So there's going to be a pop-up for the next episode. So if you want to watch the next episode, you just click on that pop-up and then it will show you the next episode. That was all for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for giving me an ear for today. I hope you take notes and you work on your innovative ideas. And I will see you next week.